Verdict watch continues in the Aaron Hernandez murder trial. Jurors have deliberated for about 20 hours so far without reaching a verdict on the expatriate's fate.
Now, the weekend started early for jurors as they left at 1 o'clock, but will return on Monday morning at 9 in hopes of reaching a decision. Eyewitness News once again has live, in-depth coverage for you on this high-profile court trial. Walt Buteau is standing by with questions jurors are faced with.
But first, we go out to Susan Campbell with the latest on what played out in court today.
Jurors didn't send any notes to the judge today, and as they filed back into the courtroom, they barely glanced in Aaron Hernandez's direction.
Please do not do any research.
Jurors deciding Aaron Hernandez's fate have deliberated for almost 20 hours. Still no verdict.
As you leave today, as you're on the bus, you can talk about it with the alternates, but you can't even talk it among each other.
Hernandez's fiancée, Cheyenne Jenkins, waited for the verdict on one side of the courtroom while her sister, Shania Jenkins, sat on the opposite side of the aisle with Odin Lloyd's family. Hernandez is accused of killing Lloyd in this North Attleboro Industrial Park in June of 2013. Prosecutors say he carefully coordinated the execution-style murder, but the defense says it's more likely one of Hernandez's alleged co-conspirators, Ernest Wallace or Carlos Ortiz, flew into a PCP-induced rage and shot Lloyd without Hernandez's participation or knowledge. Wallace and Ortiz have both pleaded not guilty to murder charges and will be tried separately. In addition to the murder charge Hernandez is facing, he's also charged with unlawful possession of ammunition and unlawful possession of a firearm. As I mentioned, Cheyenne Jenkins was here at the courthouse today. It appeared as though Aaron Hernandez whispered, "I love you" to her as they saw each other for the first time this morning. Mike?
Susan, what about Odin Lloyd's family? Were they in the courtroom today?
They were. They've been here every single step of the way. When the judge is on the bench, they're filling that first row of the courtroom. Then when the judge gets off the bench, they go and wait out in the hallway typically. Sometimes they also wait in a different room in the courthouse.
That's Susan Campbell reporting from Fall River Superior Court. Susan will be back for Eyewitness News at 6. Thank you, Susan.
Well, what the 12 jurors are discussing remains a secret, but one thing we do know are the questions they face. Target 12 investigator Walt Buteau is breaking that down for us new at 5. He joins us live in Fall River with more in-depth coverage.
When it comes to the murder charge that Aaron Hernandez is facing, the judge told the jury they have 3 choices.
The verdict slip for this indictment.
Judge Garsh gave us a brief look at the verdict slip as she charged the jury on Tuesday. One of the 3 choices on the murder count is not guilty, which would support defense claims that the Commonwealth did not prove the charge beyond a reasonable doubt. For the judge's instructions, checking guilty for first-degree murder would require the jury to find at least one of 2 elements: premeditation by Hernandez and/or extreme cruelty by Hernandez.
Shot to death.
The prosecution argued text messages were among the evidence that Hernandez planned the murder.
Into the body.
And the prosecution also argued evidence of the pattern of the 6 bullet wounds in Lloyd's body demonstrated extreme cruelty. The third choice would be guilty of second-degree murder, which Judge Garsh explained includes many of the elements of first degree without extreme cruelty.
Firearm.
The judge reminded the jury during her instructions that the state did not have to prove who pulled the trigger or even who had the gun.
The Commonwealth is not required to prove that the defendant himself possessed the alleged .45 caliber firearm.
And this jury also deliberating whether or not Aaron Hernandez is guilty or not guilty on those 2 gun charges. Live with the Target 12 investigators in Fall River, Walt Buteau, Eyewitness News.